Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I hope you're good. I hope you're well. I hope you are looking forward to the weekend. I hope you are looking forward to seeing Thomas Frank in full glory tomorrow. Welcome to a new piece of content for you from Tottenham on Tour, where James Flower and I will be discussing The Only Way is Frank, which will be a breakdown of all of his pre-match press conferences. He had his first one today. James Flower, brother, how are you?
I'm very well, mate. I'm very, very well. Looking forward to tomorrow. Looking forward to the show. How are you?
I'm very, very good. And I will have to say, I love it when a plan comes together and a bit of revenge is due. Now, people that have been aware of the inside joke, where James Flower has basically got every single YouTube channel to think it's my birthday every single day. The irony...
I'll put it up for you. I'll put it up for you.
Everyone now, James Flower, wishing James Flower a very happy birthday. But James, let's get into this, buddy. First, or overall synopsis before we dive in, of Thomas Frank's first press conference.
Fresh.
That good.
That's how good that was. A bit of fresh air, yes.
Yes, I think that was from blowing out all the birthday candles. You're out.
Yeah, I'll put that up especially for you. So let's give it happy birthday.
Let's stop that right there. There's only Thomas Frank being sung here. So what we're going to do, like we said, we're going to try and get it out as quickly as we can with all of the reactions to his press conference. We do rely on the brilliant Alistair Gold and Football London because he writes every single word down and we can't show the actual footage. So we will go through it, James. So first of all, he starts the whole thing off wonderfully before the press conference even begins. The very first thing he does, which was a touch of class for me. I'm sure every manager is going to do it. And he was first one thing for me, and on behalf of everyone at Tottenham, our condolences goes to the family and loved ones of Diego Jota and Andre Silva and everyone at Liverpool. I just wanted to make that statement first. I mean, I'm sure we're going to get that from a lot of managers, and rightfully so, but it's a nice touch of class to begin with, isn't it?
Yeah, it just starts everything off on the right foot, doesn't it? It's devastating news. Especially as he had a massive month beforehand, didn't he? Winning trophies, getting married. Yeah, rest in peace. What a legend.
So here we go.
Can I just add, sorry.
Go on, bro.
The fact that Liverpool retired the number 20 shirt, like, fair play.
Not just that, and paid out their contract and going to pay for his kids' education. When it comes to things like that, Liverpool are a class football club. But that's enough Liverpool talk. Let's get back to all things Frank. So, first question was, how have your first 5 weeks been at Spurs? To which he responded, it's the easy part now, the honeymoon. Everyone is happy. The sun is shining. We haven't played a game yet, but it's super exciting. It's a massive club, a huge club in England and the world. I'm super excited. Everyone has been kind and friendly, open-minded. It feels good, and the best thing is it feels natural. Why not? It's what I have done for many years. It is football. It's good players. It's preparing them with good staff and make sure we are ready to hit the ground running. James, your reaction?
It's just nice to have a nice guy in charge. You know, like I hate the phrase, to be honest, but you know, like when people say, "Oh, he's a Tottenham player," it just feels like a Tottenham manager. Like, I don't even know if that's a thing. It just feels right. And for me personally, I'm so looking forward to this season now.
Obviously, people know my thoughts when it comes to this season. He's just like you said. He's the word to use is refreshing, isn't it? He's come in. He's just said it's great to be here. He knows the magnitude of this club and the step up he's having. And it's just a perfect opening statement. But then he has a bit of a joke and he goes, Spurs sat 5 managers during your time at Brentford. Does that worry you? He joked and said, only 5. I like to challenge myself. I have the privilege of never being sacked before. That is one of the reasons I took the job. I get a little bit more risk in my daily life. Coming to a big club, there are pressures. We need to perform because it's because it is we, it's me, it's the staff, the players, and the staff and everyone. We need to do that together. I like the ambitions. Everything I do, every decision I have made so far is for the long term. It's not about surviving one game or 1 year or 18 months or whatever the average is. It's for the long run. Fire away, James.
It's just so likable, isn't it? It's like, I understand what's going on here. And I back myself to the max. So let's do this kind of thing. I just like it. Again, it's a bit of fresh air. I really like the way he's talking.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. Ange used to be able to have a good joke at times. Obviously, there were times not so much. But to come on and say that I've never been sat before, it's a challenge. And to say only 5 was, you got to remember, he was there at Brentford for 7 years. And when you think about five managers in 7 years, it is goddamn insane. But he is just excited to be here, and it's always good to hear a little joke with that. Then the big elephant in the room, James. Can you tell us about Morgan Gibbs-White? And he responded, I will not speak about players who are not mine. I think I have 2 exceptions, and they are getting older, Ronaldo and Messi. The rest, I will just speak about the players who are inside Tottenham.
Again, a bit of a generic answer. You expect anybody with a bit of decency not to comment. But there was a little bit of a cheeky smile when he said that. So let's hope.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, there are managers that don't give a monkeys and will say whatever they want and even try to do that to make it a little bit more pressure. But I always respect that when a manager says that, because they shouldn't be doing it, should they? So next one. How is the mood around the club as the emotional connection the players had with Ange was clear? First and foremost, I have said before, Ange will forever be a legend here at Tottenham. He is one of 3 who have won a trophy, and the first in 41 years. Sorry, a European trophy, and the first in 41 years. Unbelievable, fantastic achievement. I see happy players, positive, smiling, energy, training well, good vibe around the place, and as it should be. They have just won the Europa League. Going into a new season in football, it's about dreaming and hoping. That's what we do.
Yeah, absolutely spot on. And again, so I really like his answer to that. I think it's very chilled. It's very calm. It's very, this is the fun part. Let's do this. But I am a bit annoyed with the way that I felt like the press conference questions. It's almost like he spoke about being sacked. He spoke about the manager leaving. He spoke about, like, I just felt like the way he's handled himself so far through these questions is nothing but like, well done, mate, because these so-called journalists ain't exactly being nice to him and giving him the easy questions. Yeah,
I have to say, I think, and I will give him all the props in the world, when he did his first press conference or press stuff, he said standing on the shoulders of what Ange did and people before him. And it's another nod of respect to Ange Postecoglou. When managers come in, sometimes they might just say, yeah, he did a good job. The respect he's given him and the praise, because let's face it, he's right. 3 managers in our history have won a European trophy, and that he will be legendary for. But he's right. I mean, we heard, obviously, and we're not going to talk about it, but it was... the players are going to be an uproar. The connection they have, they're going to want out. There's going to be an exodus. Well, there clearly isn't, and they clearly, from the videos, look like they're enjoying themselves. And long may that continue. Then a really good question: how important is a good pre-season? A good pre-season is very good. There are a few things. One thing we need to do, to hit the physical targets. So we need to make sure they are very fit. We need to make them strong and robust so we can go through a long season, hopefully competing in all 4 tournaments. That's the plan. That's the biggest thing. The second biggest thing is getting the principles I want into the players. We train to get better, and I see the friendlies as used to get better. And the friendlies we use to get better. Of course, we'd like to win. It would be nice to win. The next one is Reading, and that is the most important one. This is the purpose of pre-season. Touch wood, have everyone available for the Super Cup on August the 13th.
Yeah, again, I think so. Comparing him back to previous managers and stuff, they said Pochettino did the dreaded double sessions. From what we're seeing, I don't know if Spurs are trying to false the narrative that he's working hard or what, but everything we see is they're grafting, they're putting in them extra steps, they're working on fitness. Yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing, and I'm liking the way he's talking.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have said after seeing the press conference today that they've fallen in love with him or get him a lot more, which is obvious. He's right though. With pre-season, I think we all see is just get the players fit and ready. And for me, it's all about seeing him change formations during games, seeing them, and seeing different formations start during whatever. And these players are going to have a lot of different tasks to do in these different formations. So fitness, like you said with Pochettino, I think is going to be pivotal. It was pivotal in an ad system, but obviously we had the injury crisis. But I think it's a wonderful answer. And then the next one he went on to, what do you think Mohamed Kudus will bring to the squad? I think it's a great signing from the club. Top work from Daniel, Vinay and Johan in getting a very good player this early in pre-season so we can start working with him. I think he gives us a bit of unpredictability in the game. I think his one-on-one actions are top. I think his side passes are top. I think his finishing is very good. He is almost a perfect age to perform, but also take it to the next level.
Exactly. Exactly that. It's the dribbling abilities, it's the 1v1s, it's the opening up the spaces, which is what we said last season. When you've got the likes of Maddisons and stuff in your squad, then you need players opening that space. He's going to want to take his man 1v1, so they're going to have to double up on him. They're either going to send one left back or right back or wherever he's going to play man to man, and whoever he's against, they're going to know there's a good chance that he's going to beat him. So the centre back's going to have to come across, which is going to leave the likes of Maddison and so on. So again, I really like what he's saying.
Yeah, I mean, Kudo, we were all saying last season, we all miss and crave that player that can get on the ball and make something happen out of nothing, take on his man, be direct, that bit of flair and flamboyancy. And he does it. And I love where he was going. He's top at this. He's top at this. He's very good here. I'm very, very excited to see him going. And the next question, is the challenge higher because Spurs won a trophy last season? He responds, I don't know. I think it was extremely positive that they won. That gave them that fantastic trophy that this club deserves and they needed. My aim is that we can hopefully add to that. The first thing and the first aim is that we're able to compete in all 4 tournaments and do it on a consistent level. That's got to be the ambition that we build towards, because I think 2019 was the last season where the club managed to compete in more than one competition. That's got to be the aim. We need to be able to compete in the Premier League. We need to be able to compete in the Champions League in Europe and also in the Cups. That is a very high demand, but that's got to be the aim. If we can compete, there's maybe a chance that we can hopefully end top, but we need to be able to build to compete first.
I think he's not trying to get some brownie points there, but one thing every single person said was, we've won the cup, fantastic, but that league is not good enough. Like, I think that's the one thing that everybody said. So I think he's trying to let everybody know, listen, we're in safe hands here.
Yeah, I think a lot of it as well. I think when he's saying we need to, I think the amount of times he's saying compete, it might be a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge, board. Let's start getting a wriggle on and doing things. But he's right. He keeps using the word build, doesn't he? And this is what it is. It's not going to be, right, we're back at the pinnacle right away. I've likened to where he is now, like where Martin Jol was, when we started rebuilding and making progress. And I think he is the perfect man to do it. But I love the way he keeps saying build, 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 which is what we're going to be doing. But this is the one which is night and day with him. How excited are you with the resources at Spurs, and where can you take them? Super excited. I think there's a fantastic training ground, a fantastic stadium, so all the facilities are top. He loves that word top. We just need to build from there. I think it's a very exciting squad with a mix between some experience and some very talented players, but also players that are in a good age that can take the next step. Super excited about my biggest task, to maximise the potential in the players in the team. If you maximise that, it will give you a better opportunity for competing. If you can compete, you can hopefully win something. It's my job to maximise things.
So I take this two ways. One way is absolutely, completely agree. That's what you should be doing. I also don't really like the ways like, I need to maximise what I've got. What does that mean? Does that mean you're only going to get a couple of players in and you're expected to work miracles with what you've got? Or so for me, I'm not sure with that one. I'm a bit like, okay, let's see what you mean. Let's see if, I mean, so far we've got the signs of Kudos, Tell whether you like him or not, Danzo, potentially Morgan Gibbs-White. So it looks like we're on the right track. So let's hope it continues.
Yeah, I mean, with this one, it's kind of gone from 1 minute build to maximise. So maybe those questions were staged back to back when they maybe could have been spread out, but obviously it's the interviewer's point. But one of the things we wanted, and we said, is we wanted a guy that can coach players and can improve players. And Thomas Frank, I'm going to use his own words for him, is top at that. So it's all good where that one comes from. Then is, how did Thomas Frank end up at Tottenham? Very good question. I think you need to ask the guys who hired me. Of course, it's big names. I'm very proud to sit in the chair and be part of the next top chapter in Tottenham's history. I'll do everything every day to walk towards hopefully taking this club to new heights. That's the ambition. If I was not ambitious, I would not sit here. So I am excited and looking forward to it.
So with that, I think he's kind of got to say that, hasn't he? I think he can't say anything other than, again, it's a very generic answer to a very generic question. Sorry.
No, you finished, buddy. I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah, so again, I don't want to kind of slam the people in the press conference, but I think it's like a bit more original. That's kind of like a generic, of course he's going to give that answer. What's he going to say?
Yeah, but you know what? It is that. But you know what? The way he just said is, I'm very proud to sit in the chair where he is amazing. And be part of the next chapter in Tottenham's history. And they'll do they're all going to say, I'll do everything in my power. So, yeah, I think you're right. Some of the questions were just so obviously going to be asked. But this is a good question. How hard was the decision to leave Brentford for Spurs? In a way, it was very difficult. In a way, it was very easy. Very difficult because I'm a person that goes all in when I'm in. In every relationship, work, friendship, marriage, whatever it is, I go all in. And when you go all in working at a football club, you get attached. I had a fantastic time at Brentford with fantastic people, from staff, players, fans, everything. Really, really loved my time there. But I also felt that maybe it was time to challenge myself and get another opportunity. And then when a club of Tottenham's magnitude are knocking on your door and would like you to be in front of it, to be a part of hopefully a successful journey, then I couldn't turn it down.
I mean, I feel like I'm kind of repeating myself, but what a respectful man, to be honest. At the end of the day, I don't want, it doesn't make any difference to me, but I don't really want someone coming out and slandering the other team they've come from, because it kind of looks a bit slimy. So the fact that he's come out and give him all the credit in the world, and let's be honest, they're the team that made him. So fair play to having nice words to say about them. And I'm glad again that he's almost admitting that I'm the face of this club. So when something goes wrong, it's going to be on me. Like, I'm going to be on the hit list. So again, nice to see. Good on him.
Yeah, I have to say, people will know for 2.5 years, or just over 2 years, I wanted him. And if we didn't take him, I think a big team wouldn't have been far off. Go on, James.
Sorry. The one thing I have noticed is When someone just seems like a good guy, like he just seems like a good guy, a nice person. He's got a kind heart. Well, I mean, we don't know what he's going to be like after a few losses because they're going to come. But there's even the kudos. When's your family coming? I can't wait to meet them. Like he just seems like a nice person to have around.
Yep. And like we're saying, I mean, Brentford. Everyone will know he did an absolutely incredible job at Brentford, and there's managers that just need that opportunity. And if we didn't take it, I think we would have heavily lived to regret it. And it's good to see the player go, right, I want to I want to challenge, and he has chosen. And don't forget, he's coming, like he said before, managers get sacked very easily at this football club. Managers don't live long if you don't hit certain things. So we'll see, but it was always a good thing to hear. Then he goes on to there's been a lot of speculation about your captain. Oh, sorry, he's asked. There's been a lot of speculation around your captain, Heung-min Son, and your vice captain, Christian Romero. Bloody hell! Can I get your thoughts on those two players and whether you're banking on them to stay for next season? Two top players. Sonny's been here 10 years, finally got his well-deserved trophy in the summer. So important for the team and the club. Christian Romero, World Cup winner, Europa Copa America winner. Very, very important for us. Both have trained well, setting the standards out there on the training pitch, and both will play tomorrow. So I am very happy.
Again, he has to say that, doesn't he? Even if they're going to go, he has to kind of big them up. And at the end of the day, if they are going to leave, they're still items for sale. So you can't be saying, yeah, they train rubbish, they're rubbish. But again, it's just really nice and pleasant words,
Yeah, and he's paying them a lot of gratitude, which is a lot of plaudits, which they thoroughly deserve for what they've done in their careers, whether it be at Spurs or internationally. And we don't even know what's going to happen with them two as well, do they? So maybe he needs the lip service to try and win them round. But they both have looked very happy at training. Another interesting question: during your time at Brentford, your team was very adaptable. Have you got a specific idea of the style of play that you want to play at Spurs? Yep, I'm very clear in all principles I have in all the principles I have in. I can say every phrase of the game. What I will like to see from the team and the players is what I want us to be brave. I want us to be very aggressive. And I want us to attack. I think brave is absolutely linked in to dare is to do. If you're not brave, it's very, very difficult to achieve anything. I think it is very important to take risks, because if you don't take risks, you also take risks. So that's brave. To dare is to do. I think it's crucial. I think the aggressivity, that's crucial if you want to win something or achieve something, because if you're not aggressive in duels on and off the ball, it's very difficult. It's a very competitive game, and of course we need to attack.
Spot on. I couldn't disagree anything he said there. I love that the dare is to do. It means he's actually paying attention to the fans, and he wants us on side. He's trying his best to get us on side, and that just gets respect for me. And he's right. If you sit back and wait for 90 minutes, you're running risks of conceding because you're allowing them to attack you. So, again, he's right. If he's saying we're going to attack them for 90 minutes, break them down and score when we need to, then adapt if we need to, I'm all in. I don't think I've looked forward to a season more than this season.
Yeah, I have to say the to dare is to do so many times is a wonderful touch, obviously. To know that's going to, obviously, we're going to hear that straight away. But I don't know if a lot of people will know or have seen it, because obviously I've done my frank research above and beyond. When he's talking about being aggressive and aerial duels last season, Brentford were top in the Premier League. They competed for over 560 or 40 more aerial duels than Tottenham Hotspur did for the entire last season, which is, we're going to be more physical, we're going to be more aggressive, and I love his, if you don't take risks, you're taking a risk. I love it, and the be brave is just a wonderful touch. And then he goes on to Johan Lange. Can I ask about your history with Johan Lange and your working relationship now you're back together? Johan has done very well. Going first to Villa as a technical director and now coming to Tottenham. Yeah, I know him from back in Denmark. In Denmark, it's a small country, so you know each other if you've been, how can I say it, growing up through the system. He's a very good guy. James.
Again, people have question marks over Lange, and the fact that he's kind of trying to bring everybody into as one. I like it. I always say, I said last season, I think the biggest problem with Tottenham was the fans were digging at each other and I'm right, you're wrong, I'm right. And I just love the way he's trying to say, look, we're all good, we're all together, we're all one. Let's go for it. Let's do this.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with what you're saying. Johan Lange, obviously, last season was obviously mainly getting the young recruitment right, wasn't he? When it came to the actual first team, it wasn't as successful. Obviously, Bergvall, and then Archie Gray got into first team, but I think that was ahead of schedule because of what was going on. But moving in the shadows, which is what he's been told to do, or what he's been known as his best attribute, hadn't really been seen for quality players, as in ready to come in now. And obviously MGW, Morgan Gibbs White, once he's over the line, that's a big one. I think it's going to be a big season for them too. Then they have a joke about saying there was an image around earlier in the week showing the long throw auditions, who was successful. He goes, let's see. I believe that not only maximising the players' potential and team potential, we need to do what we can to make sure we have enough threats from everywhere on the pitch. And that's one area, set pieces. And then he went on to say Kevin Danso was the one that won it. But what do you make on these long throw auditions and set pieces?
Again, it's knowing what strengths you have and using them. For me, how can that be a bad thing? It's like, listen, they're not pretty. It's not always long throws are pretty. Not all corners are pretty. But if they end up in the back of the net, then who cares? That could be a 0-0 90th minute long throw header. Who cares? Like, maximise the opportunity to win. And it sounds like he just wants to win. So I'm on board for that.
Yeah, but I think what you remember as well, James. First of all, Brentford gave away only 2 set-piece goals all season, and we gave away 11, which is massive. But also that shows defensively, attackingly. And I don't know if you and anyone else watching this when we release this very shortly, I have got sick and tired for years of us being so stagnant with throw-ins. We've just sat there like it's one of my biggest pet peeves in football when there's no constant movement of throw-ins and it takes ages. And he sees this as a key factor, doesn't he? He sees this as an advantage.
Yeah, and it would be wrong for me to come on a show and not mention my guy, to be fair. I feel like I have to at some point. And one of the things that people say about him is quite hard to take, and I'm going to be the bigger man that admit it, but a lot of people say set pieces is an area that Vicario needs to work on. I agree and I disagree, but we're not here to debate Vicario. But I think, again, this is what I said. Get a good defensive coaching. Someone's going to work on this stuff week in, week out, and you're going to see Vicario go up levels. And if Vicario can stop the set pieces and the silly passes that he was forced to do because there was no options, I already think he's a fantastic keeper. I think you're going to see another level.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting times to see how we go. We all know how well we're doing with the set-piece coach with Conte, with Gianni Vio. Let's hope with the coaching setup we've had, we'll go back to having a great success with set pieces. Next question. When you took over from Dean Smith at Brentford, you were very, very much under the radar. Not many people knew who you were. Now you're not under the radar. Everyone knows who you are. What pressure does that put on you on day one of the season as Spurs manager? I don't know. I think it's natural. It's good pressure. The interesting thing is it's not when you are in. It's not when you're in it. It's something that I've done for many years. I'm very aware that this is a big club. There's more scrutiny, and there will be more scrutiny because, as I said to the staff, the first day here will be we had a meeting with all the staff in here. I promise you one thing. One thing is 100% sure. We will lose football matches. I haven't seen, he had a joke with himself there. He goes, I haven't seen a team that is not losing any football matches. Then he goes, there is Arsenal. Then he goes, that's the team we can't mention in the Premier League. So I made my first rookie mistake there. And that was Preston back in the day. I think those were the only two teams in the Premier League, and they probably lost in the cup and in the cup game and in the cup lost games. So that will happen, of course. That will be natural pressure. But the daily work is natural, and I think it's the biggest pressure is the pressure I would put on myself.
Again, I like the way he's talking. He's admitted that there's going to be hiccups along the road, and that's fine. We're going to be working on it. We're going to adapt and do what we need to do to get back on track. You know, sometimes you can go into life thinking, oh, nothing's going to go wrong. Everybody knows things go wrong. Even in our day-to-day job, it's about how you react and work on them and realise that this is going to go right. It's about sorting it yourself and putting pressure on yourself again. It's just a good thing. I think it's just a good thing.
Yeah, the first thing I love about him is he's bigged up as well, and he's had a meeting with all the coaches, stuff which I'm sure all managers do. But everything he has done, he's always mentioned his coaching stuff. And of course, he's taking the pressure on himself. He's saying it's on me. And he's right. You know, he's been in the coaching business for a long time. It's natural pressure. Obviously, it's magnitude where he is now and the demands of the football club and the competitions he's in. But he is here to do things and get us going. And I think, like you said, I love the joke that he had when he realised he was about to say Arsenal. Or he did say Arsenal. He was like, oh, my God, the team we can't talk about here. He immediately realised, I think it was a mistake on purpose, if you know what I mean. So he could get an Arsenal jab in. But then he goes on to, you said you want your style of play to be aggressive and attacking. How do you do that without losing 22 Premier League matches in a season? I think I said it first. I said Brave. I think I said first, Brave is on the ball and also off the ball. How we defend, let's say in high pressure, for example, but I also said aggressive and also attacking. Those are the three good buzzwords. I will continue, you know. I'm quite consistent in my messages, but I always started saying I have the principles for all phrases. That means also how when we defend low, when we defend middle, and when we defend high, and how we defend in the box. So I think that's quite important that we do that. If you want to win enough football matches, we need to be a well-rounded team. Yeah.
Completely agree. But again, I don't really like that kind of question. It's like, oh, look, Andrew's gone. I'm so grateful for him winning that trophy. Like I said to you, I've got to sort of sit there with my kids and watch us on holiday win a European trophy. That'll always be in my memory forever. So I thank him for that. But it's almost like a backhanded dig, isn't it? How are you going to do that without losing 22 games? We've been told you can't. Yeah. Without being rude, I'd have been like, sorry, mate, like, what are you doing with that question? And he handles it really well. The fact he said defending from the front, I'm worried because I think we've got people like Solanke, Kudos, who will defend from the front. Tell, in fairness, defends from the front. But we have got people like Solomon, Son, Brennan Johnson, who are not known for that pressing and working hard. I mean, the likes of Son, was it 5, 6, 7 years ago when Hugo Lloris was calling him out for not working back and following his man? So he's got notorious sort of problems with that. Even the midfield, James Maddison, if you're not tracking back and helping out, then you're gonna get it, and I like that. Working defensive, defending high. Does that mean in the air? Good. Again, it's all things that we need to be working on. So again, I like how much detail he's going in depth with different types of defending and letting everybody know. Because what I think he's probably doing there, I think he's probably sending a message to the squad as well. He's saying, listen, you're defending regardless of where you're playing. There is no superheroes in here, fancy downs. You're all grafting or you're not playing.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, the most refreshing part for me on that is him talking about 3 different defensive styles and how defending the box. We always knew Spurs exposed, Mickey van der Ven, last defender. this is how we're going to play. This is how we're going to play. We don't change. And he's just gone on about 3 different types of defending strategies, 3 different ways that we're going to play it. And in the penalty area to obviously help Vicario or Kinski, whoever it may be. So, and we've actually seen the training drills as well from the videos, haven't we? Where we've seen a lot of work going on the defence. So to hear him talking about 3 different types of defensive styles, that could be a back 3, could be a back 4, could be a. I think it's a very exciting answer, that one.
Yeah, I also like it because you was talking about the training videos. I saw a lot of people give him a stick for. Have you seen the training videos where I think it's defending and they're heading the ball out and then lunging in and then blocking the ball off the line? I saw a lot of people like, oh, that's pointless. But I think it's the complete opposite. It's the fact that you throw yourself in the front of that ball regardless.
Yeah.
You change the mind to do that. Naturally, you'll begin to do that rather than like, oh, I'm not getting there. So I like it. I really like it.
Just remember, people, we all know this. You don't concede, you don't lose. It's that simple. And to hear defensive strategies and these different variations of defending is very exciting. I don't
know if the Spurs community would be able to handle us getting the Golden Glove. I don't think they would. I don't think they're ready for that. I don't think they're ready for that. So,
well, let's hope we get to, mate. And what that would be incredible. But then we've only got a few more questions left. So you mentioned this is still your honeymoon period. You had a good marriage at Brentford with Matthew Brennan and Cliff Crown and everybody else. How is your marriage going to work out with Daniel Levy? Oh boy, marriage is a strong wording, I would say. I don't think I'll go that far. I'm only married to my wife, Nana. But I had a fantastic relationship. There's no doubt about that with Phil Giles and Matthew Benham, John Varney and Lee Dykes. And I'm expecting we will get on working as good a relationship with Daniel, Vinay and Johan. I think I'm pretty good with people, so I'm very optimistic about that.
Yes, he's coming across that he's very good with people, very, very good with people, very good with words. And so far, I mean, I know this channel is well renowned for the Levy out, but so far, I believe he asked for Tel, or he said, look, I could work with Tel. I believe he wanted Kudos. I also believe he wanted Morgan Gibbs-White. Yep. So if Daniel Levy is giving him what he wants, fair play to Daniel Levy. And me and you both criticise him as much as we'll give him praise for doing whatever he's going to do. Is this Thomas Frank actually getting what he wants and working with Levy or Viness or Lange? If it is, it can only be a good thing.
I will say, obviously, I don't know if that we don't know what's going on with the investment. We don't know if it's Charrington doing a lot more of Daniel's work than we are all led to believe. But I think for the first time in a long time, I see Frank, I see Lange, I see Vinay, and they're all aligned. I think there's a general alignment, and I'll go down to Frank's coaching team underneath Frank or alongside Frank, whichever way you want to look at it. I think we all know that relationships with Daniel Levy always start off with this and then materialise into whatever they may be. But they're doing what they're doing at the moment, and once Gibbs-White is done and through the door, then you've got to give credit. And hopefully, like you said, he is a very much people person. If you listened before he came to the club, all the media and everyone was like, we haven't got a bad word to say about Frank. Not one bad word. He just gets people and people want to listen to him. So I think it's going to be a very important relationship. But I actually think his relationship with Daniel Levy might be very, very different in a few months because he might be away from all footballing thing. But obviously the harmony within the club is most important. I actually think there is a network there to do it. So then there are a few good players at the club you tried to sign before, like Archie Gray and Brennan Johnson. How good is it to work with them now? Are there any others in the squad you wished you had before? Definitely good to see Archie Gray and Brennan. It was not a secret. You guys apparently know everything. I've still not figured out that information. But of course, when it comes to Tottenham, no one will find out anything, right? And he had a joke with the media guy. It's all top secret and nothing slips out, and he starts laughing. No, so good to work with them. Two fantastic footballers and two good people. Off the top of my head, I think it was not possible with them. So I don't think he was mentioning anyone else, but obviously he wanted Archie, he wanted Brennan, now he's got them.
I think, again, very generic. He has to say that. I'm interested to see what he does with both, to be honest, because for me, now Kudos has come in. I think Solanke could work well under his sort of formation, and he's talked about defending from the front. So I think Brennan Johnson's got a lot to prove. I know he done well last year with his goals, but for me, there was a lot to be. There was a lot that wasn't in his game, and I'm interested to see if Frank can either force the defensive side from the front from him, or what will his actions be going forward. And Archie Gray, youth player, I would like us to get Morgan for him to help him with his attacking game along with Maddison. But I'd also like us to get a defensive coach to help people like not coach, player like a number 6 to help Gray learn the sort of defensive side as well.
Yeah, I think he wanted these two. He's got these two. Now we might see what he saw in them and how he wanted them to play. I think at Brentford, Johnson would have done very, very well. Obviously, there would have been as much pressure, and you've seen how Brentford play, especially after Tony's departure. I think it's going to be very, very interesting to see those two. And I think we see a completely different Brennan coming in the more central. And I think Brennan has a much better season than he had last season. And I mean, over his overall game, not goals, assists, which he was incredible last season. All right, the tap-ins, majority of them, but they were vital ones. Then we start going back towards the captaincy. He goes back to Sonny and Romero. Have you had any conversations with them about their future? My expectation is all the players are here and they're all training well. This is what I'm focusing on. And again, very impressed with them. They set the standards and train hard. As I've said, they are playing tomorrow. That's a good indicator that they are here.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's the next question, so I don't know if I'm jumping ahead. Does he say about who's going to have the decision?
Yeah, well, that's a separate question coming up.
Okay, yeah. So again, I think it's a very generic answer. They're working hard. They need to set a standard, and I can imagine both of them doing that. To be honest, I can imagine Romero. Well, we always hear Romero plays in training like he does in matches, and Son, I can imagine him taking a bit of a leader's role, like very positive, spurring people on, encouraging and so on.
Yeah, listen, they're both going to play as captains tomorrow. They're going to have each half. I think the conversation with Sonny is going to be after the South Korea tour. He's contractually obliged to go there. I'm sure conversations are going on. And Romero is looking happy, and hopefully that commits to a new long-term contract. If he doesn't sign, I think we may be going into an issue at the final part of the window, and maybe whilst we were linked with £70 million defenders today. But it's good to see them on the pitch tomorrow, and I think these conversations are going to be held at a later date. So we'll move on. Where was it? Then he goes on about the injuries. Now, some players with serious injuries: Maddison, Kulu, and Dragushin. Any ideas when we'll see them back in action? Maddison is the closest one. He's part training with the team, so that is very positive. And obviously a key player. He's a key player. Dragushin and Kulusevski are a little bit further along the way, I think.
Good to hear. Maddison's probably going to make the start of the season, to be honest. Hopefully he's going to make the start of the season. The other two doesn't sound too good, does it?
No, I mean, I think the terms were like October, November. I mean, fair play to Radu Dragushin, who must be built like a Terminator, because after that injury, he's back up and running already. And that is a nasty injury he had. But then we go on to there's two questions which kind of all are in one. So I'm going to do the two. And James, you wanted to talk about it. For me, this was the most incredible part of the entire press conference, where he said, "On Son, have you decided who your captain will be?" Good question. I haven't decided on that. I have a long list of bullet points I need to get through, and I take them in the right order. He was the captain last year, and when we played 245s row, Son and Romero will be the two captains, but I haven't made a final decision. Then it was, will the decision be on yours or the players' vote? And he said, that decision is all mine. That's a bold statement, but James, take it where you want to go, then I'll take over.
This was one of my favourite parts of the press conference, because he's been very nice by saying they were captains, well done, you're going to get your chance to see you tomorrow. But ultimately, I don't care about any of that. I have my rules, regulations, what I expect. And if you don't hit them, you ain't my captain. And I think that is a very bold move, big, brave. This is my team. You don't like it, I'm in charge.
Yeah, I mean, it's night and day from Ange, isn't it? Whether you agree with it or don't agree with it, he was this is the player's space. We'll let the players sort it out. I loved it will be my decision line. I loved it. It's obvious, isn't it? I think it's fairly obvious. And I think it's left open for interpretation. But I'm looking at that as well. Well, it depends if Sonny and Romero are still here. Because I think if they're still here, either one or both, I think he still might do. I can't see Heung-min Son being ripped off the captaincy and staying here. But I do think if Sonny does do that, Sonny won't be offended, or he'll just get on with his job and be the amazing person he is personally. But I love the fact that he say, listen, I make the decisions here. And like you said, it's kind of my way, and we'll go from there, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So then we get to the final two questions. You want to be challenging on all four fronts. How hard is it to do that with the money City are spending, Liverpool are spending, Chelsea are spending? That is, of course, tough. I think it is fair to say that those three clubs are a tiny bit ahead right now. I am not focusing too much on them. I am focusing on us and what we can do. Can we get closer and compete in all situations? I think it's a good first step. How close is that? I will not answer that. Let's play some games and talk about it then. I think we have a good squad. I am pretty sure we can build something stronger over the next years and get closer.
So I like the fact he says good squad, not a great squad. Maybe that's minute kind of pickups, but he's saying let's build and acknowledging, they are miles ahead. And if we're a football club that wants to compete, you need to give me players that are on their level, and I like that.
Spot, mate. Honestly, spot on. I mean, how he said the three are a little bit ahead of us. Obviously, their league's ahead of us last season. And financially, what they're doing, they're starting to pull away with the players coming in. But we still got the time. And if Morgan Gibbs-White is in, or when he's in, that is a different element. But I just love the fact that he is literally saying it's a good step if we start competing. We go from there. And I love over the next few years, let's get it closer. There's no doubt for me, as I was saying on We Are Tottenham TV earlier, James, I think there's only one chance. Forget whether fifth is going to be top four, available for Champions League this year with the coefficient. There's only one place in that top four available right now, isn't there? I think that those three teams, Arsenal, the Filth...
I don't even know if there is, because I noticed... I don't want to kind of turn it onto that, but I think Chelsea are looking very good. They've been building, and they're not a bad team.
Yep. But I think there's the one place that is kind of viable. I think the other three will be ahead of the Packers as they have been recently. But the final question. You've said you're making decisions for the long term, but are you confident you'll get the time for those decisions to pay off? Yes. If I wasn't, then I shouldn't have taken the job. I have had very good conversation with Daniel, Vinay and Johan, and they were very positive. I am in general a positive and optimistic guy. I think personally that it's better to be that than too pessimistic, because I think it's very difficult to achieve anything or achieve anything or anything big and do things that were not possible if you're not optimistic. Of course, also realistic and know what it looks like. Know that there are three teams. Know that the three teams that you mentioned are ahead of us right now. I know how we should look to get there, but let's take it one step at a time.
Yeah, again, I don't like the question, to be honest. Again, I think it's a very derogatory question. It's very, you're not getting time, you ain't this. I just feel like, well played again, Frank, for turning that negative question into a positive answer, to be honest. You're not going to get the time. Like, well, what do you want me to say to that? Yeah, no, I'm going to be sacked next year. Like, fair play, Frank, for dealing with all these questions, because they're not easy. I mean, we were probably prepared for him, in fairness, as a club, and he smashed it out of the park. Home run. Yeah,
he has. And with this, it's the acknowledgement. I think what we just discussed, that the top three are ahead of themselves or ahead of us currently. And I love the fact, like, obviously people will know me under previous managers. I am very, very, when things aren't good, I go for the jugular with a certain person. And maybe it is pessimism or not, but it's obviously how I felt for a long time. But my God, his optimism and way of looking at things is very infectious. And if that can rub off on the team as well, it will be fantastic. Now, that wraps up the first The Only Way is Frank. A lot of questions there. Hopefully, the next one, maybe it won't be as intense. Maybe it will be. Who knows? But we will be there to deliver the one for you before running away. Flower, thank you very much indeed for joining me, brother.
No problem at all. I also think that the next press conference will be a lot more interesting. I felt like this was a lot of backhanded, and you did this, hey, you're not going to do this, you're going to be sacked, are you going to last? Whereas I think we'll have a game to digest and we'll be in the mixes of a few things. The questions will be like, what did you think of X, Y, Z? Or how was Morgan Gibbs fitted in?
No, you're damn right with Gibbs, but I will say I sang a song on a short today, and I'm going to sing it again because Tottenham on Tour are on the march to 10,000, and we are growing very, very rapidly, which has been brilliant thanks to all your support. And all I'm going to say is we're on the way to the 10K, we're on the way. How do we get there? Hit subscribe. When do we get there? You decide. All I know is we are on our way. So please help us get there by smashing a like and subscribe on the channel. I am going to end this with only one song and one song only. Thank you for watching, everyone. Have a great weekend. And as always, Thomas, Frank. Thomas, Frank.